A pregnant woman was raped in a parking lot. Thankfully, the baby came through without a hitch, but the woman stared in sheer terror. She noticed the child's face looked eerily like the rapist's. Her therapist dismissed it as pure delusion. She insisted the attacker's fluids had tainted her unborn child. As the kid grew up before her eyes, she couldn't shake that filthy nightmare. One gloomy morning, she finally snapped. The broken woman leaped off the building with the child in her arms. After his wife's death, her husband, a psychiatrist, shattered completely. Yet, he soon found a reason to keep breathing. The rapist had only gotten 4 years behind bars. And when he spotted the guy in court, a sneer curled at the corner of his mouth. Alan vowed revenge. He dove into ways to make someone suffer endlessly, without letting them slip away into death, all so the bastard could writhe in agony 4 years from now. But on the day of the thug's release, he learned the man had fried in a prison electrical mishap. Alan plunged back into bottomless despair until one patient's story pulled him out. It gave him fresh purpose to endure. The patient's wife had been killed by a drunk driver. His 8-year-old son lay in a vegetative state. He loathed the culprit with every fiber, but his boy's condition held him back from vengeance. Alan saw his own shattered self from 4 years ago, so he asked the man point blank, "Want me to take out the driver for you?" Alan drugged the perp and tied him to a cross. He approached with a hammer in hand. The driver gaped in raw horror at the scene. Alan met his gaze with icy detachment. Then, he swung the hammer and bashed the man's skull in, as the patient watched his enemy bleed out. A genuine smile broke across his face at last. The doctor felt the sweet rush of redemption. Over time, he treated 10 more patients crushed by trauma. Each time, he had to end someone's life. He became the nation's most notorious serial killer. That day, Alan reached out to a female reporter. He confessed outright that he was the killer and requested a private one-on-one interview. The reporter showed up with a detective in tow. At a quiet hotel downtown, Alan had booked the room under her name. During check-in, she clocked that all the security cams were down for repairs. Before stepping inside, she slipped the spare key card into the elevator, then ducked into the bathroom. She tucked a tiny earpiece communicator into place and covered it with a sweep of her hair. It was her only lifeline to the cop. The reporter entered room 2701, while the detective slipped into 2601 below. She'd planted hidden cameras all over the space, so he could watch every move inside. Then they settled in to wait for Alan's arrival.